Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 84. The album that I'll be reviewing today is L. Cool J's fifth album, 14 Shots to the Dome, released in 1993. Everybody should know who L. Cool J is. For those that don't know L. Cool J, check out my review that I did his Phenomenon album that came out in '97, where I did like a kind of like a brief biography of L. Cool J, or if not, just go on Wikipedia or Google or whatever. I did a review on his Bigger and Deafer album. I did a review of Mama Said Knock You Out, and I did a review of Phenomenon, and now I'll be doing a review on this album. This is his fifth album. This is 3 years after his Mama Said Knock You Out album. He, between like 91 and 92, he took a break from music. He actually did 2 movies. He did a movie called The Hard Way, featuring Michael J. Fox and James Woods. That movie was kind of like a Lethal Weapon type of movie, you know, kind of like an action comedy type of flick. Cop action comedy type of joint. And then in '92, he was featured on the film with Robin Williams, Toys. And so throughout those years, he was working on this album, and then in 1993 came out this album. All right. I was watching an interview what he did with Fat Five Freddy during the UMTV Raps. He said the reason why he called it 14 Shots to the Dome is because 14 shots was just 14 tracks. The shots the shots are the metaphor for the songs, and the dome, your head, is the 14 songs that, like, what you tape from those songs to your head. That's what I'm just paraphrasing what he said, but I'll post the interview that he did in the description box. And if you notice too, if you look in the back, you see like where it's like you have the symbols, and right next to the symbols it says shot. See? I know I'm probably not pointing the right thing, but you see like the symbols right next to it says shot. So those are the tracks and stuff like that. Alright. Little thing about this album, I kind of felt like this album was like a continuation of Mama Said Knock You Out, and I'll explain why, throughout the review and stuff like that. Singles off this album, there's 4 singles. The singles off this album are How I'm Coming, Stand By Your Man, Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag. That was a single, and Backseat. Alright, those are the 4 singles off the album. Alright, this is what the album looks like. Alright, you see Farmers Boulevard right here. You know what I'm saying? This definitely brings back memories to me, because I used to live out there. You know what I mean? Like, not in Farmers Boulevard, like close to Farmers Boulevard, because it was like 5 minutes away from me, from my old neighborhood in Springfield Gardens. So definitely, nostalgic and shit like that. Alright. Producers on the album, Marley Marl, he comes back again, from Mama Said Knock You Out, so he's definitely gonna deliver. QD3, who's Quincy Jones' son, dope producer, by the way, underrated if you ask me. Marley Marl, he's not credited, but K-Def was definitely on this album. And if you guys know about K-Def, all my hip hop heads should know about K-Def. If you know his production style, then you'll definitely would know. You know what I mean? Just listen to some of the earlier stuff in the '90s that he produced. Marley Marl, then Bobcat. Bobcat, who was the producer that was responsible for the sound of Bigger and Deafer, that he was part of the LA Posse, where him and that crew was responsible for that sound. So yeah, definitely dope. Yeah, you can see. So L. Cool J right here. Cool J's just fucking grinding and shit. Just fucking making an ugly face. Posing and shit, you know what I mean? L. Cool J right here. See like a little graffiti. And that's it. Alright, you know how I get down. I'm gonna break through some of the songs, so you know how I get down. First track is How I'm Coming, which was actually the first single of the album. How I'm Coming, it pretty much sets the tone of the album. Like, and it just comes in hard. He just comes in rough. You know what I mean? Um, like I said, like he just goes in on this track. Like he's just saying like, oh, you ain't fucking with me. I'm just coming harder on this album, and stuff like that. That's why I got out that track. You know what I mean? It's just like a braggadocious track. Track 2, Bucking Them Down. That was produced by QD3. That was actually a pretty dope track too. Like it's another braggadocious track. He's just real. You went real gangster on that track. I really like that joint right there. Track 3, Stand By Your Man, produced by Molly Mall. I'm glad that this version made the album version, not the and actually Stand By Your Man is actually the last single of the album too. It's the final single that came out from the album. It's the fourth and final single of the album. I'm glad that he didn't use the video version, because that shit would have not fit the album. Because the video version, the beat is different from the album version. The beat in the video version kind of had like a New Jack Swing type of vibe to it. Although I like that style, but it just wouldn't have fit the album, and I'm glad that he didn't put that on the album. I'm so glad about that. But anyways, Stand By Your Man, produced by Molly Mall. What I got from that song is that it's just another. To me, it's like a sequel to Around the Way Girl. It's another version of Around the Way Girl, where he talks about he needs a girl to hold him down. Like if you're going through some hard, rough times, that she's there for you. He wants a girl that's not a gold digger, that's not taking advantage of him and stuff like that. That's what I got from that, and that's Stand By Your Man. That's what I really liked about that joint. Track 4, A Little Something. That's kind of like a female type of track. It was cool, but I didn't like the beat because, like, I don't know, it just like that sample, like, is a very famous sample. When you hear it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But he didn't really do too much with the sample. Like, it's a very known sample. If you hear the song, like, oh shit, I know that song. But he didn't really do too much to it. It was like a little. He could have done a little bit more to the sample. That's just my opinion. I could have done without that track. Little Something. It was okay. Track 5, Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag Getting Crushed by Buildings. This is the OG version. The one you hear in the video is the Easy Mo B remix, which I prefer better. I feel like that should have been on the album. That's just my opinion. Even though I do like the album version, it's actually pretty good, but the remix actually sounds a lot better, and it fits the subject matter. Anyways, what I got from that song, Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag, is pretty much a reference to sex. Pink cookies, representing pussy. You know what I'm saying? Getting fucked. You the man is getting crushed. You're the building that's crushing the pussy. I'm sorry. you guys get what I'm trying to say. Oh man, that's funny. I'm sorry. But yeah, the Easy Mo B remix, I prefer that over the Molly Mall version. Even though the Molly Mall version was a lot better. Excuse me. The Molly Mall version was good, but the Easy Mo B version was better. And that same sample was also used by Mobb Deep, using that same sample for the song "Give Up the Goods," so off the Infamous album. So yeah. So a little trivia for you guys. Some of you guys probably know that, but most of you guys should know that. Anyways, track 6, Straight from Queens. This is what I was talking about K-Def. Like when you listen to that beat, it sounds like something K-Def would have done around that time. Like just like the paranoid horns, the real freaky sounding horns and stuff like that. Just the drum programming and stuff like that. It's definitely K-Def. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong because there's been talk about how Molly Mall will take credit on certain beats that he didn't do because Molly Mall was that dude at that time. He just took the credit just because K-Def was like the understudy. You know what I mean? But no shots to Molly Mall, but a lot of people has been saying, people that worked with Molly Mall said that too. But Straight from Queens, pretty dope track. I really like that song. where it's just like a braggadocio track. He just goes in. It's where he he displays his he just raps really fast. He does like the whole like Das Effects type of delivery, like tongue twisting delivery. Other people kind of have mixed feelings about that because a lot of people felt that was kind of a gimmick, but I thought it was dope. I thought he did his thing on that joint. Track 7, Funkadelic Relic, pretty dope track. This is a song where LL Cool J pretty much talks about his career up to this album. He talks about he talks about like the songs that kind of stood out in his career. And he talks about like for example, he'll say like what about I Need Love. He says like I need a girl to love me down or some shit like that. Just like one of the lines that he said. And he talks about break to the break of dawn, shit like that. He talks about that. Pretty much talking about his whole career within 4 minutes. And I feel like that was a pretty dope song. I feel like that should have been a single, but he does. There is a clip on YouTube. I'll post in the description box where he performs on a Soul Train of Christmas of that year, 1993. He actually does this thing on that track. I recommend you checking that song out, Funkadelic Relic. Pretty dope. Track 8, All We Got Left Is a Beat, produced by Bobcat. Funkadelic Relic was produced by Marley Marl. Even though I feel like that was a K-Def song too. But anyways, All We Got Left Is a Beat, produced by Bobcat. Excuse me. Pretty dope song. My only beef was the beat. I like the beat, but I feel like the beat didn't really fit LL Cool J. I feel like that's felt like when you listen to the beat, it sounds like something would be more fit into like a Scarface or Buster Bill or anybody in the Ghetto Boys or somebody like that. That's what I got out of that beat. But it's a dope beat, but I just feel like it didn't really fit LL because it had like that West Coast, Southern West Coast type of vibe. But anyways, the concept of the beat, the concept of the song is that he's just talking about like how the government is pretty much corrupt and shit like that. How like they the ones bringing in the guns and stuff like that, and that's what I got out from that track. That's what just like the bullshit the government does to us, like just like feeding us poison, bringing drugs in the community, and making minorities the villains and shit like that in the news and shit like that. Which in reality they're the fucking villains themselves. But I'm not gonna get get that deep with you guys with that. But yeah. Track 9, No Frontin' Allowed. That was produced by Marley Marl. Pretty dope track, dope posse cut. That's featuring Lords of the Underground. Definitely a dope track. They all do their thing on that joint. Very, very dope. Track 10, Backseat. Backseat was, I believe, the second single, and I believe Pink Cookies was the third single, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, Backseat, that was produced by QD3. That song right there, it's pretty much a Jeep anthem. You know how you have back in the day, it was all about anthems, and like you had joints that was just dedicated to all the people that drive cars and stuff like that. And that's the same thing with the song Backseat. And back in the early 90s, it was all about the Jeeps. Like, so if you had like a Nissan Pathfinder or a Toyota 4Runner or a Land Cruiser, you was that dude. And then all the girls loved you for that. You know what I mean? And that's what he talks about in this song. Like, picking up this shorty. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's just like, I got a nice Jeep and shit like that. Pick up a shorty. Go in the back seat. We do what we gotta do, if you know what I'm saying. That's what I got from that song. Pretty dope track. Dope video too. Track 11, Soul Survivor. Pretty dope song. That's produced by QD3 as well. Funny story about that joint. I was in an interview by Dr. Butcher. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Butcher is, he used to DJ for Kool G Rap back in the 90s, and he also produced a couple of tracks. He used to produce some joints for Kool G Rap, throughout like the early to like late 90s. Like You know, he's done stuff for Cool Rap on the 456 album. He's done stuff for the Roots of Evil album, dope album by the way. I definitely gotta do a review on those albums. Um, but he was doing a review. He was doing an interview. I'll post a link in the description box where he was making a beat, and there was a dude a friend of his that knew L Cool J. He's like, yo, I have a friend that makes beats, blah blah blah, and then it's like, yo, alright, cool. Let me meet you. Let me meet your friends, stuff like that. So you know, he was so they were both making a beat, and you know, Dr. Butcher was actually making a beat. He heard the doorbell ring and stuff like that, and it was L Cool J. So he answered the door. He's like, yo, is such and such here, and you know, they were all in shock. And so when they came in, he heard the beat. From what I understand, the beat was a lot more darker and more grimier than this version, and he heard it and he liked it. He made it. He made that joint. But the thing was, like, L Cruz, I guess, felt like because of his reputation at the time, he felt like the beat was a little bit too hard, a little bit too street. I mean, what the fuck? And then the song actually leaked out, and you know, they ended up didn't using it. They didn't use it, so they had to remix that song, and that's how. So what you're hearing is actually the remix. This is not the original version. So I would love to hear that original version by Dr. Butcher. So if anybody has copies of that or like a original, damn. So anyone that has like a like the original song of that shit, please post it in my comment or whatever. I want to hear that. I'll post it on YouTube. I definitely want to hear that joint. But so far from that song, what I got from that joint is that you know, you sort about all these fake ass niggas that just coming into the game and shit like that. You know, all these dudes that, you know, try to act too hard and shit like that. I'm like, yo, dude, like who are you, man? You acting way too gangster. Like, yo, relax and shit like that. That's what I got from that joint. Track 12, Ain't No Stopping This. That's what I meant to say. Like, in track 12, Ain't No Stopping This is pretty much calling out the new jacks of the game. Like, the cats are just coming into the game, think they just run shit, you know, just doing shit. Like, nah, nigga, like, I've been doing this for years, man. Like, you ain't gonna just come into my shit, my territory, just trying to run shit. It ain't happening. That's what I got from that joint. Track 13, Dickie Down. That was produced by Bobcat as well. And he's pretty much talking about the ills of the you know, just talking about the ills about the, you know, about the world and stuff like that. People, you know, getting hooked on crack, and you know, little kids selling their bodies and stuff like that. You know, crazy shit, you know, reality shit. That's what I got out of that. And track 14, pretty dope track. I love that joint. It's a very good way to close out the album. You know, Bobcat in the interview, I'll post down in the description box. If I find it, I'll post it. But he said that, you know, he actually hired an orchestra to actually make the beat. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it definitely fits the album. It fits the subject matter he's talking about. You know, he talks about like I said again, like the ills of the world and stuff like that. And but you know, within the ills of the world, you know, find God in your life, and then you'll be alright. And that's what I got from that track, and it's pretty dope. And that's it, people. That's the rest of the review. My thoughts of the album. I feel like this album is actually one of my favorite albums by L Cool J. I feel like it's very underrated. You know, I think people kind of gave it shit because of the direction he was going for. Because, you know, his direction was kind of more street. It was more gangster. It was more street. It was more rugged. You know what I mean? And that's what I like. I kind of like this LL. Like, I like when he was angry. You know, he was just like not angry, but like he was like more. Yeah, he was like more aggressive. Like, and like I said, that's why I kind of felt like this was like a continuation of Mama Said Knock You Out. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, definitely check it out. Don't give it. I mean, don't listen to the critics saying this album is mediocre. It's actually pretty good. It's actually one of his best albums. Like I said, very underrated. And this album kind of got, you know, overshadowed just because of the fact that '93 at that time, the West Coast was running shit. By that time, Snoop Dogg came out with Doggy Style, even though Doggy Style came out months after this album came out, because I think this came out in like June or some shit of that year. Naughty by Nature, even though they're from the East Coast, they're from Jersey and shit like that, but you had groups like Naughty by Nature that came out with an album. Naughty by Nature at that time was popping, so Wu-Tang was just coming out. Shit like that, and it just got overshadowed by those groups. And Dr. Dre had came out with The Chronic the year before, so just like yeah, man. Like I said, I highly recommend it. Like I said, if you like early '90s boom bap, that roughneck shit, then I would definitely recommend checking this album out. This album is actually out of print, but if you could find it, it might be a little hard to find, but if you could find it, definitely pick it up. And yeah, I know you go on iTunes, but I'm talking about to my people that still buy CDs and stuff like that. But yeah, if you, like I said, if you like early '90s hip hop, this is on to pick up. So that's it, people. If you guys enjoyed that review, stay tuned for more videos. I should be doing a CD collection soon. I'm just waiting for one more CD to come in the mail, and I should be doing that. And that's it, people. Hope you guys enjoyed that review. Definitely pick it up. Please pick it up. Very underrated. Yeah, it didn't sell very well, and the reason why it didn't sell very well is because, like I said, I guess because people weren't used to the LL going hard like this. People kind of wanted more of the like what I was known for, like the love songs and shit like that. You didn't really get that with this song. I mean, you got a couple of tracks like that, but not really overbearing within like his later albums, which I didn't care for. Starting with Phenomenon, I could have done without that album, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, very dope, very underrated. Definitely check it out. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace.